What's up, y'all? This is Dana Pook Jr., Master Executive Aide, and this video is about arrogance. So, especially if you're a life path number 8, this is literally like in the description of your number. You radiate arrogance. So, like, you don't even got to do nothing, and people gonna assume that you're arrogant. And there may be some truth to that. Matter of fact, I think there's some truth to that. But like, where is it coming from? You know what I'm saying? So Muhammad Ali is one of my favorite examples, as well as Mike Tyson and other greats who specialize in knocking people out. So Muhammad Ali talked a lot of shit, as everybody knows, and one would say he's arrogant. But then when you get in the ring and actually knock somebody the fuck out, I mean, then what? What do you have to say then? So it's like people gonna say that regardless. You know what I mean? And I do think, in a sense, arrogance can it can ruin you. You know what I mean? Depending on, the circumstances. But one thing you'll find in your journey is people will call you that. They will refer to you as that. You know what I mean? And man, like I really don't know how to say this, but it's just something that's going to happen, and you gotta be cool with it. You gotta be cool with people calling you that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't remember Muhammad Ali saying, "Oh, you know what I'm saying? I want to stop being this way because people think I'm arrogant." I just think he was really confident in his abilities, and I think he just you can't go into a fight with a mindset of I'm going to lose. Like, you just can't go into a fight with that mindset. You know what I mean? So when it comes to arrogant people calling you arrogance, it is what it is. You can't really care too much about what people say anyway. And one of my favorite things Jay-Z said, like, yo, like, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like what I'm about, turn me off. And vice versa. If you don't like what somebody's saying, like, turn them off. You don't have to listen to them. You know what I mean? So and when you're on your journey, like, you gotta have thick skin, because that is the least of what's going to be said about you. You know what I mean? Like, as you start to rise higher, like, people are going to say more hurtful things, and if you're swayed by everything everybody says, then you ain't gonna make it, because you'll be all up in your emotions. You know what I mean? So yeah, don't worry about it. Like, really, don't worry about it. But one thing I will say is, prove to yourself the things that you say. You know what I mean? Like, if you know you've been training hard and you know you put in work, you know what I mean, you gonna feel some type of way. You gonna know all the hours of work you put in. So by the time you show up in the ring, like, nobody else knows. They just see you talking shit. They didn't see the blood, sweat, and tears and everything that went into you being at that point. Like, they have no idea. They have no idea what went on in the background. So all I can say is, when people call you arrogant, take it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? You may be. You know what I mean? And like I said, you can just radiate it. You don't even have to say anything. And people will make that assumption about you. You can't control the way that people see you. You can, to a certain extent, but people are always going to see you the way they want to. And that got to be okay with you. You know what I mean? But like I said, the one thing I will say is, like, whatever you're saying, be able to back it up. That's all I got to say. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, yeah. And at one point I just looked up the definition of the word arrogant, and it basically meant, when you trace it back to the Greek word arrogare, it means to make one's own. So basically, like, to own something. Like, I'm owning everything that I'm saying. You know what I mean? Now, the first definition was a over, uh, a overestimation of one's abilities, or something along those lines. You know what I mean? So, man, just like shrug it off, like, really, and just make sure that you're putting in the work. You know what I mean? So that, like, you can prove things to yourself. Like, don't try to prove things to other people, because you could prove something to them, and then they just change up and be like, oh, well, you did that, well, I bet you can't do this. You know what I'm saying? That's a never ending cycle. Prove things to yourself, not to nobody else. That's it.